John lesson 32, chapter 7, verses 14 through 18. Now, about the middle of the feast, Jesus went up into the temple and taught, and the Jews marveled, saying, "How does this man become learned, having never studied?" Jesus answered them and said, "My doctrine is not mine, but his who sent me. If anyone wants to do his will, he shall know concerning the doctrine, whether it is from God, or whether I speak on my own authority. He who speaks from himself speaks his own glory, but he who seeks the glory of the one who sent him is true, and no unrighteousness is in him." Though Jesus avoided a grand entrance when he came to Jerusalem in his Father's timing, he taught boldly. He never shrank back from proclaiming the truth. The Jewish leaders knew that Jesus was not studied or had been a disciple under a prominent rabbi. If you recall, Peter studied under Gamaliel in Acts 22. Jesus did not follow the normal and expected course of education for a teacher. If they could have condemned Jesus on some false doctrine or wrong understanding of Scripture, they surely would have done that. Since they could not find anything wrong with anything that he said doctrinally, they attacked his credentials instead. Jesus didn't point to his credentials, but to his doctrine. It was as if he was saying to them, "I don't have a seminary degree, but judge me by my doctrine." If the Jewish leaders listened carefully to the doctrine of Jesus, they would know that it was all rooted in the Old Testament scriptures and that it was truly from God. Jesus was an eloquent, gifted teacher, but he was not self taught. Jesus was God taught. His authority was not from any man, but from his Father. Verses 19 through 24. Did not Moses give you the law, yet none of you keeps the law? Why do you seek to kill me? The people answered and said, "You have a demon. Who is seeking to kill you?" Jesus answered and said to them, "I did one work, and you all marvel. Moses therefore gave you circumcision, not that it is from Moses, but from the fathers, and you circumcise a man on the Sabbath. If a man receives circumcision on the Sabbath, so that the law of Moses should not be broken, are you angry with me because I made a man completely well on the Sabbath? Do not judge according to appearance, but judge with righteous judgment." We see here that the Jews circumcised on the Sabbath, which was a type of work uh, according to their legalistic law. And yet, when Jesus healed on the Sabbath, they accused him of violating the Sabbath by working. They were hypocrites. It said there that none of you keeps the law. Jesus just stated that he was absolutely sinless and true, always seeking the glory of God in heaven. In contrast to Jesus, the religious leaders did not keep the law. They had the law, but they didn't keep it. It said also, "You have a demon who is seeking to kill you." The people didn't know that the rulers wanted to kill Jesus. That was new to them. They didn't know that because he healed a man on the Sabbath that their Jewish leaders were seeking to kill Jesus because of that. Verses 25 through 29. Now some of them from Jerusalem said, Is this not he whom they seek to kill? But look, he speaks boldly, and they say nothing to him. Do the rulers know indeed that this is truly the Christ? However, we know that where this man is from, and but when the Christ comes, no one knows where he is coming from. Then Jesus cried out as he taught in the temple, saying, You both know me, and you know where I am from. And I have not come of myself, but he who sent me is true, whom you do not know. But I know him, and I am from him, and he sent me. Well, many, but not all of the Jews of the time believed that the Messiah would appear, and he would appear suddenly, as if it were out of thin air. That was their common thought. But Malachi 3:1 says that God's messenger will come suddenly to the temple. This was the kind of saying that made them incorrectly think that Messiah would come out of nowhere to show himself to Israel. Then the verses that we just read also said, You both know me and you know where I am from. This first sentence of Jesus' reply may well have been sarcasm. Sometimes he would say things that were in parables and things that only believers would understand. Sometimes he spoke in a sarcastic way. So that's a possibility. They thought that they knew where he was from, but they were unaware of his heavenly origin. We'll stop right there for now.